Guys, you've got to check out almost any ability right now. I picked it up on a total whim about a week ago. I signed up for a tournament I had no business entering. I'd played like 3 games my whole life, but it has taken over my life right now. I'm obsessed. It's a bit of a weird Smogon specific metagame, so let me break it down for you right now. Here's how it works. You can take any ability, almost any, but we'll get to that. You can take any ability and you can put it on any Pokemon. So Dracozolt, if you look at Dracozolt, what is its biggest problem? Well, Bolt Beak is fantastic. It's a nuke of a move if they can attack first, but Dracozolt's base speed to begin with is less than mediocre. It's actually not very good at all. What can we do to improve that? We give it Surge Surfer, where it doubles its speed in addition to being in electric terrain, which can boost the power of Bolt Beak even further. Fantastic. We throw in a Life Orb. We had Dragon Claw and Earthquake coverage. We're in business. This is a fantastic set. This is how AAA works. You can use almost any ability you can think of on almost any Pokemon. You can go Weavile. Weavile, fantastic Pokemon. Let's look at its stats here. 120 attack, 125 base speed. Dark Ice as a typing is terrible defensively, but offensively, we're talking Stab Ice Shard, we're talking Stab Knockoff, Stab Icicle Crash, and Triple Axle. Unbelievably good offensive mon, but its ability Pressure is okay in defensive situations, but it's really not doing Weavile any favors. So what happens if we give it something like Tough Claws, which boosts all of these moves by 30%? All of a sudden you're dishing out massive nukes, or in this specific set's case, Technician. Triple Axle means every single hit is boosted, which is incredible. Ice Shard is now a very powerful move, similar to Scizzor's Bullet Punch. Knockoff does not count into it. I ran into someone online use this exact Weavile actually that used Bite actually, which was like, I couldn't even wrap my head around that, but still, all of a sudden Weavile is a massive nuke that you can't swap into. You can do Terrakion, you can give it Moxie, kind of lean into its really good offensive typing and its good speed stat. You go to Marowak Alola. Marowak Alola, I looked at this set and I thought Marowak Alola's problem isn't being able to break through opponents effectively. Its problem is getting in the first place and setting up those opportunities where you can go for a big wall breaking Flare-Bus or Poltergeist. So what would help that out? A Levitate. You can come in, you shore up that weakness. If you know your opponent's gonna use an Earthquake, boom, swap Marowak Alola in and then just put them in massive trouble out of nowhere. I love this idea and I love this tier. Now, I need to break down before we get any further what the almost and almost any ability means. So first of all, let's go to the resource page, because unlike a lot of other metagames, everything in almost any ability is consolidated to this one forum page, which I can't speak highly enough about because I signed up for a random tournament game with it. It's actually tomorrow. If you want to check it out, it'll be on my stream at 9 p.m. EST. I'm going to do my first tournament game, really in any metagame ever. I don't know why. I thought I would kind of try the first time with AAA, but it just seemed like fun. But anyways, I had to learn about it and quick, and this page was a dream come true because it consolidates all the ban list, because there are a lot of bans, all the banned abilities. It breaks down all the clauses, so no 2 ability clause. You can't have like 5 Swift Swim Pokemon on one team, and it gives the viability rankings. It's unbelievable. And the best part is, again, it's important to note the ban list in this tier because it is significant. Because if you get a Pokemon like, if you gave Zeraora Libero, it would be the greatest Pokemon to face the earth. It'd be incredible. It'd be unstoppable. But there's also some weird ones like Buzzwole. You think, Buzzwole, why is Buzzwole so good? So let's click on that. It takes you right to the exact justification for why it's banned. It makes it incredibly easy. Okay, we look at this and we see the tinted lens set was really popular. And oh man, Triage, which is an ability that boosts the priority of your healing moves by +3. It's usually used on weak Pokemon that have Draining Kiss. But you're talking about a base 80 power Leech Life, a base 75 power Draining Punch on Buzzwole on 1 Mon with +3 priority all of a sudden. Yeah, and 139 base attack. Okay, I get it. That sounds completely broken. I completely get now why this Pokemon's banned. Or what if we go to like, I don't know, why is Guerrilla Tactics banned? That's an interesting one. Guerrilla Tactics, here's a whole thing on it. I haven't even looked at this yet. Okay, I'm not actually going to read this live. This is a massive post, but like, if you need to know anything, it's all consolidated on this awesome resource. I'm going to put it in the description of this video, but it makes it really easy to go through. And there are some interesting mons that have been excluded, like, what's one that I thought was interesting? I mean, Dragonite. Yeah, Dragonite. It's air late sets with extreme speed. We're apparently completely unstoppable. In addition to heavy duty boot set alone made it terrifying. Yeah, you know what? I get it. I get it. Makes sense. So yes, it's an absolute blast. I've been having so much fun with it because it taps into something creative that most Pokemon you don't really see in the same stint. I think that team building is extremely creative to begin with, but being able to look at an otherwise very good Pokemon like Zarude. I think Zarude is a really interesting, cool designed Pokemon, but its ability Leaf Guard is doing it no favors whatsoever. So looking at a mon like Zarude, looking at its qualities and asking yourself, what specific thing could I give this to really bring out its pros? That's a very interesting question. I ran into someone who was using flash fire on it so that, you know, it has an immunity to fire moves. All of a sudden, this Root completely walls Chandelure, for example, because the dark type helps with the ghost type moves and flash fire will soak up the fire moves. That makes total sense. But when I looked at this, I thought, okay, I mean, if you look at its base stats, they are impressive. If you compare it to Rillaboom, they're almost identical. A little bit less attack, just a tiny bit less, substantially more speed, and a really good move pool. You have a Stab, Darkest Lariat, because what's Rillaboom's biggest problem? It's the bulky flying types that swap in on it, like a Zapdos, like a Skarmory, like a Moltres. All of a sudden, with a Banded Darkest Lariat, you can now 2-hit KO these easy swap-ins the exact same way, in addition to being a threatening sweeper because you have a base 105 speed too. The Grassy Glide hits almost exactly as hard as the Rillaboom's. Power Whip is as strong as Woodhammer without having the knockback as a trade-off for lower accuracy. I just think it's really cool. I built an entire team around this specific set because I thought it was so interesting. Or I look at Conkeldurr and I go, all of a sudden, I mean, its Mach Punch set is already threatening, but similar to that Buzzsaw we brought up earlier, this Drain Punch with the Triage priority boost is going to be unstoppable. How do you swap into this thing? Oh, I know, I'll go to my Ghost type. Eat my knockoff. Like, it's impossible. So I think it's a complete blast. Now, another reason why I bring this up is because I know how popular the idea of theorymon posts are in Pokemon. For example, if I go to the competitive Pokemon subreddit Sunfisk, today's Theorymon Thursday, and it's literally just a day where people dedicate it to speculating random Pokemon stuff. Like, let's look at this one here. Mega Electrode. What if Mega Electrode has the ability Hydro Electric, it heals the user, blah, 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 while in rain, and it gives rain electric type moves a 30% power boost. It would have this stats. Like, people love to speculate and wonder, what would it be like if this happened? What would it be like if this happened? Blah, blah, blah. And I've gone on record and I've actually said several times, I think Theorymons are kind of silly. You know, it's fun to think about in a light casual sense, but it dominates so much of competitive Pokemon discussion. And it's like, you know, it's a cool idea here and there, but it's just like so consistent. It's always talked about all the time. I always compare it to like, imagine if 90% of the posts on the Street Fighter subreddit were like, what if Zangief had Hadouken? I mean, like, it would probably be pretty good. He'd be very good. He would be one of the best characters in the game, I guess. I don't know. It's just, that's my beef with it. It's just, it's so it's too much. But anyways, I bring all this up because it's a popular concept. We all like to kind of envision what would happen if our dream Pokemon got some sort of buff. Well, guess what? In almost any ability, you really don't have to. Oh, my favorite mon is Inteleon, and I wish that it, you know, got more love in this competitive generation. Well, let me present to you my personal dream here, which is Tinted Lens Inteleon. Tinted Lens means that Pokemon that resist your moves now get dealt double damage. So all of a sudden, Choice Specs Inteleon in the rain can legitimately one-hit KO, especially defensive Ferrothorn and Rain. Insane. Or what if my favorite Pokemon is Rhyperior and I want to make it work on my rain team, but of course it doesn't make any sense. How could I possibly make a Rhyperior work on a rain team? Well, guess what? I got a Dry Skin Rhyperior right here. Gliscod, what a cool Pokemon that is. Its stupid emergency exit completely cripples it. I wish it had some sort of cool ability. Guess what? Choice Band Triage Leech Life, similar to that Buzzwole we mentioned earlier. Good luck with that. It's just, this is the exact idea. If you're the type of person who loves to speculate and create new ideas and be creative in regards to Pokemon, this could be really be the tier for you. You know, Poltergeist is really held back by being walled by specially defensive dark types. Guess what? Tinted Lens, now your Shadow Ball is nuking the specially defensive dark types the same way that it would any other Pokemon. Cresselia, it works really well in Sun teams as a sort of setup sweeper. If you add Stamina to help add on to boost to your Calm Mind boost, all of a sudden it's untouchable from every side of the spectrum, and in fact, you can probably run Stored Power to great effect if that was the case, right? All these ideas. Hippowdon, Stamina could be really good too, to a body press Stamina user. That would be incredible. All this, what I'm trying to get across here is, I think if you're the type of person who's inclined to do Theorymon things, this could really be the tier for you. I've been team building it a lot on my stream lately, and it's honestly been some of the most fun I've ever had team building, full stop. And it's, I think I can easily say, in terms of these, you know, these other metagames, we call them OMs. You know, it's OM of the month, like Inheritance or Nature Swap. Of these OMs, this is the most fun I've ever had on one, and I've been, you know, pretty open to them in the past. So if you are that kind of person, and you are the kind of person to go like, oh man, I really wish I could make Tyrantrum work, may I present to you Skill Link Tyrantrum with a 5-hit Scale Shot and a 5-hit Rock Blast. Holy shit. Or like, you know, Psychic Surge Expanding Force Alakazam, or Unburden Citrus Berry Darmanitan Galar. So you get, you know, +2 to your speed afterwards and +4 to your attack stat. Incredible. What is walling this thing afterwards, right? So I guess it's just been a long video of me geeking out here. But I thought I would do at least one game, sort of similar to the video, put out highlighting the RU tier. I'll put out one game of just me playing it because I think it's really fun. I've got a tournament game tomorrow, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to get absolutely clocked in. I'm pretty quick to pick up new metagames nowadays. I try a lot of metagames, and I'm no expert in a lot of time, but I'm quick to get competent. You know, LC I picked up pretty quickly. Anything Goes I picked up pretty quickly. Even RU, you know, that one took me a little bit longer, a couple of weeks, but still I got there. I struggle with almost any ability, despite all the poetic I'm waxing about it. I really struggle with it. I've been getting destroyed lately on the stream when I'm playing it. However, recently when I started building my own teams, I've been having a lot of fun. So actually, one last thing before I'm going to do one ladder game of it, because I just kind of want to give some sort of demonstration of what the tier looks like. I'll probably do my cursed brain team because it's hilarious, and it highlights how fun team building is. I will save you all the exact same pain I went through. Here is AAA in a nutshell. Let me present it to you right here. Most offensive abilities are either going to be weather themed. So if it's a rain team, they'll have swift swim and some sort of thing like that. But sheer force and adaptability are just such good offensive abilities. Like I talked about, you know, tough claws on the Weavile earlier, technician. Odds are if you just ran adaptability in the exact same situation, it would be nearly as good right there. Or sheer force works on so many special mons, of course. It's fantastic. It's a big reason why Nidoking and Landorus Eye are even close to as good as they are. And defensive abilities, you can just throw Regenerator and Poison Heal on just about anyone, and they're fantastic. But even abilities like Intimidate or, you know, Uncoordinate in particular, Dauntless Shield, which boosts its speed, its defense by 1 stat point is fantastic. Or if you have a Stealth Rock setter, like a lead, what's that dumb mon called? Fortress. If you have like a lead Stealth Rock or Fortress, you throw Magic Bounce on, so it can set hazards and deny opponent hazards. You can throw Magic Guard. Oh, you guys gotta see this one actually. This is a really cool example of how cool the tier can be. I'm just geeking out now. You can throw Desolate Land on Victini to boost its Recreate and also shore up its water type weakness, because no water type moves work when Desolate Land is active. Or you go to Noivern and use Aerolate to boost the power of Boom Burst, plus make it a flying type move so it guarantees stab for the Noivern too. So Boom Burst is now a disgusting nuke. Or just, you know, Toxic Orb, Regenerator, Swampert are unbelievably hard to swap into. Regenerator, Silvaldi can swap it on everything. It's a massive tank at this point. I'm geeking out, but what was the one I needed to highlight? Oh yeah, so I mentioned Magic Bounce earlier, or Magic Guard earlier, and the best example of that is, where are you? You gotta be here somewhere. Archeops. Archeops, Defeatus is maybe the worst ability in Pokemon, but you give it Magic Guard, and all of a sudden you're swapping in Stealth Rocks for free. You don't have Defeatus anymore, which is fantastic, so you can finally take advantage of Archeops' disgusting speed and disgusting attack stat, but also you can rip Head Smash, which has massive recoil, for 0 recoil all of a sudden. It has no consequences whatsoever. You can Head Smash a Rocky Helmet Ferrothorn and it does no damage, and you do a ton of damage because Head Smash with 140 base attack is unbelievable. These are the sort of creative ideas you can come up with here. But that's why I found that when I mentioned that I've gotten a little bit better at AAA recently, a big portion because of that is I stopped using this obvious stuff. Oh, and this is actually another one I should mention, is that oftentimes you use an ability is to shore up an obvious weakness. Like you can go to your Heatran and you can put on Levitate, or you can go to your, I mentioned Flash Fire and Zarude, that's a big one. Or I could do Flash Fire on my Genesect, so it's not taking so much damage from fire type abilities. Or I could do Bulletproof on Jirachi's equivalent, so you're immune to Shadow Ball and Pyro Ball, even Gyro Ball if you wanted. Things like that. Very cool idea. But, and then extremely obvious, seems like I'm being dismissive here, but for example, Noiverns are always going to be running Boom Burst. Tapu Bulus are almost always going to be running Triage to combine with that Horn Leech ability. What are some other ones there? What are some extremely obvious ones? Oh, speaking of Magic Guard, Blacephalon, now it can swap it in Stealth Rocks without taking so much Magic Guard damage. Stealth Rock damage because of that weakness. You can throw around Mind Blowns with 0 consequences. You can run Life Orb and pair that with the Magic Guard if you want to. Again, when I say extremely obvious in this AAA in a nutshell, it is actually extremely obvious. But yeah, point being, I'm 20 minutes now. I thought this would be like a 10-minute breakdown before I got to the game, but clearly I'm a massive fan. I can't speak highly enough about it. I just had to be like a week of like a training arc before I do my tournament game tomorrow, but I can't see myself stopping playing at this rate. It's been so much fun. It's so creative. So I can't recommend you try it enough, especially if you're the type of person to make a long post about how you think that, I don't mean to call out people here. If you're the one to make a long post about how, is there no one gonna, Flygon. how you think Flygon needs to be better, and you're gonna update it. Maybe you do an adaptability Flygon in AA, and all of a sudden it's amazing. It's stronger than Garchomp. Maybe you do a regenerator Flygon so you can pivot in and out all the time, throw around those defogs, offer its good defensive utility. So here we are against the game here, and this is my Rain team. Rain team was a really fun challenge to build around, and I kind of stumbled on Drizzle Ferrothorn before, because Drizzle seems like kind of obvious. Ferrothorn can come in frequently, similar to Pelipper can, and Drizzle will help mitigate its weakness to fire moves. And the building process from there was very organic. I mentioned Tinted Lens and Teleon. I think that's a really, really cool idea where it can 2-hit KO even Toxapex and Ferrothorn. But a big problem, I mentioned Desolate Land on Victini and even on Volcarona sometimes. But sometimes, I'm actually just gonna lead right now, do a lazy lead. Ooh, they get me there. I gotta zoom out a little bit too. But sometimes Desolate Land, I need to be able to swap in on the Desolate Land easily. Let's say it's a Volcarona. Well, I have the opposite of that, Primordial Sea Corviknight, so I can steal the weather right back if they do that. I want a Swift Swim user, so Zapdos, I kind of went through it, and Swift Swim Zapdos is very similar to Venusaur with Chlorophyll, where you get 3 different strong moves at once. Hits really hard as an elite speed tier. Triage, I mentioned it a couple times so far. It is one of the most broken controlling moves in the current metagame, in my opinion. So I need at least one Triage user as well, just to kind of help act as a bit of cleaner and priority. And Glassify, you get a really strong Aqua Jet in addition to a really strong Liquidation, so that worked just fine. Sorry, I meant Leech Life. And then this is my coup de grace, what I'm most proud of here. I gotta swap out meanwhile. I gotta stop stalling. Well, here's my coup de grace right now. Dry Skin Rhyperior. Tanks all the fire moves anyway, so you don't really care about being fire weak. But now you are unkillable in rain. Your recovery is ridiculous. You're a great pivot that can come in and out and set up these stealth rocks super easily. Are you gonna earthquake me right now, dude? Or high jump kick me? I'll protect. Not Libero. I should be fine. I should be fine. You go for stealth rock here. They're Primordial Sea, which is interesting because it seems like Toxapex wouldn't be that weak to fire. This is a fun part of the game too. It's a puzzle. You go, for what reason could the Toxapex be Primordial Sea? Like, but why? Like, it's like wrinkling your brain. Like, why? And it's fun just trying to figure it out. Okay, I wall you, don't I? I might not do too much damage, but don't I wall you? Yeah, I'm Dry Skin Rhyperior. Put some respect on my name. I kind of wish this thing had Swords Dance, but it is really useful to have this ability. I wonder if they stay in this turn. I'm going to go to Ferrothorn because we can set up the real rain. Heavy Rain actually steals the rain from our Drizzle Ferrothorn here. So I'm going to do this. Oh, it doesn't work that way. Oh. It still takes priority over us then. I didn't know that. See, you know, you learned something there. Latios comes in. Latios is a scary one. It can run a lot. I think it really benefits from it. Tinted Lens in particular is what really scares me. So Tinted Lens means that there's nothing that resists the Draco Meteor anymore. I'm going to try Corviknight. I was going to go to Cinderace. So we have Primordial Sea on our Corviknight. We don't fear anything with Cinderace unless it happens to have Electro Ball. So I'll go for the U-turn this turn. As I go to Electivire here. Now Electivire is... Wow, it takes a ton from that, doesn't it? I don't want to go and Teleon. I'm afraid of them being some sort of Spectre or something like that. So I'll go to Ferrothorn, set up the real rain, and then I'll go straight to my Rhyperior here. Should be safe. The big concern is Noivern. Swapping in and out of that Boom Burst is a nuke. Aerolate is really strong, and it's also got the coverage with Draco Meteor. They do EQ on that switch there. But of course, thanks to our Dry Skin, we just shrug it off, don't we? I think I might make a double switch here to beat the Noivern. Or I could just Rock Blast, which also beats the Noivern. I just don't want them swapping into it for free right now. Yeah, what if they just go for a second EQ, though? That's the other scary thing. Zapdos is good if they EQ, but if they go to Noivern, fearing my Rhyperior's Earthquake, then my play is probably Zapdos-ish. It's not great either. I think it's gonna Rock Blast. If they stay in, it's not the end of the world. I still have, you know, this Rhyperior's gonna live forever. Not the end of the world. I wish, if I'd known that, I would have gone for an EQ or a Protect there, but this is fine. In fact, if we get a good roll, well, never mind. Protect here. If not for that burn earlier, we would have been in such good shape, but I'm not gonna cry about it. I could actually go to Zapdos now. Let's do it. Let's do it. This thing is very important in order to check Cinderace, in order to check all kinds of threats. Hurricane. I wonder if it kills this thing. With Life Orb, it must. I'm modest. I think Hurricane will kill this. Yes. Okay, I knew it resisted. This is great. I love that it provides a sort of triple stab similar to the triple stab Venusaur kind of pseudo offers here. Okay, Heatran, I think you gotta respect me here, dude. I think you don't respect the Weather Ball like you should be. No respect for the Weather Ball. Come on, Heatran. This is my swift swimmer here. You're gonna go Latios all of a sudden. Am I down to trade this for a ton of chip with Hurricane? I think I am. Forget chip. Forget the chip. Okay, I still want to flex this Inteleon. Oh my gosh, come on, don't DC on me here. So look at this Inteleon. Inteleon choice specs versus like Ferrothorn, let's say. Look at this, check this out. You guys have got to see this. So pretty spadeft Ferrothorn here, 176. We give it Modest because I give my Modest because I'm a sicko like that. And I give it Tinted Lens. And we're in the rain. And they have Stealth Rock up. 37% chance to Oko Ferrothorn with Inteleon. Now I can sign off in complete relief. Thank you so much everyone for watching. Hope you guys at least give the tier a shot if you haven't already. I'm obviously a huge fan as I've just gassed on for it way longer than I expected, but it's a good time. But take care. See you next time.